Greetings and welcome back to Satisfactory. So, we are currently at an outpost, which Catherine will explain extensively about, since she's the one who's built this one. But just before we go into that, we are playing on the experimental build, as you can probably see by the very red ribbon up in the left corner. And the stability of playing in multiplayer is not exactly ideal. It's even worse than it used to be. So what we've come up with is, rather than actually playing and actively recording while playing, we are kind of dedicating tasks. This needs to be done, and sending the save game back and forth, more or less. And
yeah, it really is that bad.
So we'll just do feature episodes to let you guys see the progress of the factory and show you what's new since the last episode. But yeah, this episode I think we're just going to do a big feature thing of the entire factory, right?
Yeah, we want to do kind of a base tour to let you see what we've been working on since we've had our last sort of proper episode. Then we had a stream, which we did build quite a lot on stream. In fact, this is what I was working on the stream, is this major outpost here. But a lot has changed in the factory, so we just want to show you all of that stuff.
Yeah. So why don't you start with this little tiny smelting outpost?
This tiny smelting outpost. So Taskmaster Caledorn, otherwise known as Whippadorn, Taskadorn, found these nodes over here. We have copper over there. We have Mark II miners on all of them. And then there are 2 iron ones over here. There's another iron one over on that hill. Ah, yes. It's over here. Let's go see. Ooh. Okay. Oops. There it is. There is the other, and I think, are they all pure nodes up here? Do you remember?
Yes, all of these iron and the copper node are pure. Yeah,
so it's a really nice compact area, and so I funneled all the ore in. It's all Mark III belts, and it fills a Mark III belt. And so we have 8 smelters for each line of ore, and it's all going out on this bus this way. Oh, it's nectar.
Another empty one.
Well, for me, it had fruit, so I'm taking it. Yeah, the lag is so bad that obviously you didn't see any get into my inventory. This bus goes all the way up there to that massive belt elevator that Caledorn had built. And we are keeping some of our spiral elevators, aren't we? Because the new belt elevators are interesting, but they're better for certain uses than others, I think.
Yes, I've struggled with some belt elevators. I'll get back to that. If we wanted to build belt elevators all the way up there, it would be kind of weird looking. With floating belt elevators in the middle of nowhere, since they have a height limitation. And also, I can't place a belt elevator while Catherine is in the game. If I even take one out, the game crashes for Catherine, so that is not very helpful.
No, and that is part of the experimental build, though. When you load into the game, the devs say there are going to be crashes. So that's one of the crashes we found.
Yes.
But we'll talk about more of that a little bit later. Maybe as we're walking. I think we want to go up to this concrete outpost up here.
Yes, I
think you built that.
Yeah, I built this little concrete outpost some time ago, before this iron outpost and copper outpost on there was built. And this one, they're all empty. And this one was just so we could have concrete handy for the foundations and stuff that we needed out here, so that we didn't have to run all the way back to the base. And we haven't actually...
Go ahead.
We haven't actually, as you can see, there's no belt coming out of this storage container. So this storage container fills up and it doesn't go anywhere. So we haven't built a belt that takes this concrete back to the base yet.
That's right. We needed a fair amount of concrete out here, as we'll see when we go and look at the steel outposts. So if you're wondering what all of that iron and copper and stuff was for, that is going up that squiggly belt elevator. Oh, and there's the limestone nodes over there.
Yep.
And then we'll go up to where the steel is actually made, which is just up in the forest area, which I think both of us are familiar with from our playthroughs.
Yes, you were the one who told me about the coal nodes up there when I was building the other factory together with Oracle out in the desert behind us.
Mhm. Okay, just do something real quick. There we go. Sorry about that, everyone. Had a bit of a rain stick. Forgot to change my recording thingamajingies. Okay. Yeah, so this is this gigantic lake out in this funny forest area. I was building my base in the desert, and I climbed up this massive cliff. And this is where I ended up, and it looks totally different now in this factory setting. So this is another thing that I built because you'll see the base where Caledorn has been working is extensive. So I spent a lot of my time outposting stuff. So here we see 3 belts of iron and 1 belt of copper. Now the belt of copper travels on the very top of this array, and it just goes out of the base since you don't need copper for making steel, obviously. We have 3 coal nodes. There's one there, and another one there. And those are being fed again with Mark III belts, Mark II miners. And we have this very extensive, what do you call this style? Floating mergers or splitters?
We can go with that. That sounds like an excellent name for it.
So they are placed here, and each of the machines gets what they need. The feeder belts are the outside line on my left here. So whenever we needed more, we just put another splitter on the feeder line to go into the feeding line. Feeder and feeding. Oh dear. Those go directly to the machines. It was kind of funny because it worked out to be like 1 belt of coal field feeds 5.333 machines. So this solution seemed the best to like supplement those belts every time and then add the iron, because we are using an alternate recipe where we only need to add extra iron after, 10.6 machines. So that's this one up here that refeeds the iron into the iron belt here. And it is working at full production, which is quite nice.
Yes. And it also looks very, very cool.
Ah, thank you very much. So, and then here we had an extra half a belt of, so we had 1 full belt of iron going back to the base, and then an extra half a belt. So those are merging right there, and they go into a Mark IV belt, and that's what goes back to the base. And then the front side of this is kind of funky because, again, every 5.3 machines, you get a full belt. So we had these kind of, belts. Okay, when it's full, it goes up a level into the next area, and then the next one starts underneath it. It's a shame it's nighttime, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually. So eventually we have 3 different belts going out, and then the last machine is very funny. It's this one. It's the 0.3 machine, and it has to feed all 3. So there's a line up to the second one, to the first one, and then up to the 3rd belt up there, and then all of those go across this lake here to another massive belt elevator. All right, so I guess we can go back to the base. I don't know if we want to go the water route or the proper
the water route works
route
as well, since we don't have to swim at that specific point.
Yeah, it's quite nice. There's a little bit of an atoll here-ish, or sandbar, I guess. A snack tree.
They are all empty.
They are all empty. Okay, yes. And so this is the vista of all of this. This is just one of our bus lines into the base. Our factory is truly becoming a mega base. It is huge. There's stuff. And just keep in mind, all of the setups are ratio perfect. So there's no extra machines lying around. Every machine has a purpose here. And it's working at full capacity. It's pretty great.
Indeed. And it's been a lot of planning and thinking and working for both of us to get this.
Oh yes, hours and hours and hours spent off camera just getting everything sorted. Okay, so here is where we have the steel coming in. We do have the copper, and is it 1 iron line or something like that going back to the base? Those are going straight over the top of this array of stuffs. And believe me, each one of these machines has a purpose. I think it's, 48? Machines, 3 rows of 16, whatever that is.
Yep.
They are all making pipes, steel pipe, from the ingots that are coming in from those smelting and foundries. So that's what this entire thing is for the steel pipes. And it's quite extensive. Those the output is on that left side there, and it joins the main bus line again, going back to the base. But yeah, this is quite a big array.
Uh-huh.
I guess we can. Should we go to the main base now?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's use the autobahn to get home.
Yes, the Autobahn. We have affixed MK4 belts to the Autobahn here. So we can just go there quickly. There's a tiny belt nearby, which you can see at certain points, and that is for going the opposite direction. There it is. You can see it on the right of my screen. Yeah, that's literally just for traveling through the Red Forest. And it's quite handy. I mean, all I'm doing is moving the mouse a little bit. You don't have to. There are some finicky bits where you have to press right or left to get back on the belt, but otherwise it's pretty good.
Yeah, I really like this.
All these funky mushroom trees. I tried to build around the mushroom trees because I think they're really cool looking. So I didn't want to chop them down like some other people have proclivities to do so. Mm-hmm.
We all know that the true enemy is the forest.
Yes, can't see the forest for all the trees, so we have to get rid of the trees as well. Must see your enemy, look him straight in the eyes, and then chop him down with a chainsaw. Right. Mm-hmm.
I like this idea.
Wow, what? That was fun.
That was unexpected.
That was very unexpected. Oh, you didn't continue the sidewalk.
No,
I think this is where you extended the bus.
Yes, I might have done that on purpose because, being continued on the sidewalk onto this cliff here would have been interesting.
Yes. Well, I think we can make a graceful stopping point or something. We could even do a slow belt. So okay, so what do we have here? This is the part that you built yesterday. Oh, wow. Okay, so we have a lovely another spiral elevator here. Wow, that must have taken you a long time to build. Holy
yes.
Cats.
That took quite some time.
Dang.
And
okay.
Getting all the things down. But I do like building those helix elevators.
They're quite lovely. I think they're really elegant looking.
Yeah, I like them very much.
Huge, just huge.
You go down into the coal area and...
this is a great view of that. They kind of snake through. Nice.
Yes. I kind of was a bit unsure of how to do it properly, but...
This is our pet Mercer sphere, by the way. Still here. Nobody has pilfered it.
No, not touching that one.
Here's another view of that belt elevator that's going all the way up. Wow. Nice.
It is quite extensive, isn't it?
It is. It definitely is. It's funny because, we work so many hours just setting up the basic raw materials that you really don't see any completion until literal hours later, when this stuff comes into the base and then you can make the final products. What was all of these steel pipes for? What production line was that?
Currently, only the topmost belt is being used, as is shown by that is the only belt that is moving at the moment. And we are using the steel pipes for making stators downstairs so that we could finally get up motors, which was a major milestone.
So here we have some of the new vertical belt elevators, which are kind of interesting. I'll go down to the next...
I'm not a big fan of those elevators yet. They need some work from the devs.
Okay.
But when you've managed to place them, they do work very well. But yeah, they are kind of annoying.
Kind of wonky to place.
Yes, wonky would be an understatement. I was actually quite annoyed when I placed down this earlier today. And also you can see here what I mean by the floating things, because these are just floating, like there's no support to them. And I'm not really a big fan of things floating in midair.
Well, they're clearly connected to those very sturdy belts on the top and the very sturdy belts on the bottom. Yes, that must be it.
Yeah.
So how long does each segment of belt elevator last? Or do we have a big one that shows multiple segments connecting to each other?
No. But what I could do if I wanted to have this extend up is that I could place a belt elevator, and the opening would snap to the opening up there if I hadn't connected the belt. And obviously I can't demonstrate because then Catherine will crash, and we don't want that. But I could extend it as far up in the air as I could potentially aim from the distance I'm standing.
Okay.
But I actually do prefer the helix elevators.
Okay. These are a little bit more space compact. Well,
yes,
very space compact, but
that's the reason why I built them here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. They're interesting, that's for sure. But I hope they get some work because, yeah, if Caledorn even opens the menu and holds the belt elevator item in his hand, it will make me crash.
Yes.
But hopefully that's getting fixed by the devs. This looks quite cool, though. These little things, the copper wire going downward. It's kind of fun. Here.
It's like there. Yes, I do like how they look when they are in motion like this. Yesterday when we streamed, it showed the product going upwards, even though it was going downwards. But now it at least shows that it is going downwards, which is an improvement.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that was a very funny thing when we got that sulfur from the mine up there. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool.
So,
and I like this curvy bit. This is very like Art Deco, very very cool looking. I like it. Just this area is very nice.
Also, I've left room here so that when we need the steel pipes from these containers, I can just get them out under here.
Excellent. That's great.
Over here are the containers that take the concrete and plastic and rubber. Haven't put them into use yet. Yep. Well, the concrete is not a petroleum product, but the petroleum products coming from the petroleum outpost, which I think we will feature at the end of the episode, are coming in here, and I haven't gotten around to actually automating the production of things like computers.
I was going to say that in case anybody thinks the factory is empty on the upper floor, this is the first floor. This is the first floor above the trees, as per our episode title. So this is where you've been making all the things. So show us around a little bit and let's see what we've got here. This is
stators.
Yeah, there are several machines in here. The stators, you said?
Yes, and
there they are.
I'm not using the alternate recipe for the stators and the rotors. The reason for that is because I didn't want to have to recalculate everything, since I had calculated the things for 5 stator producing machines and 5 rotor producing machines, which are located over here, which is 1:1 ratio to 3 motor producing machines, which is over here.
All right, nice. We have motors.
Yes.
I think you finished that this morning. There you can see the rotors going along the belts up there and the stators coming in. Yay.
And we actually have a full container of motors. Excellent.
Wow, this is great. Research, here we come, right?
Oh, yes.
Nice.
This area is producing reinforced iron plates. No, this is modular frames, actually.
Yes.
Sorry, baby board
companion cubes. Baby board cubes, yes. Nice.
And this array is what is producing the reinforced iron plates. And here we are using an alternate recipe, the stitched iron plate, which takes iron plates and wire. And these machines over here are producing the copper wire for that. As you can see, 4 of them are not connected up to anything. And I need to actually remember to do that. Connect up the 7th machine in the line and upgrade the belt to MK4, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. Also, this
you're running fast with your hands behind you like wings. That was so funny. I wonder if that's a new animation they added.
That's what cute. I saw yesterday when it looked like you were flailing your arms wildly.
Oh, that's funny. Okay.
So I'm also using some minor elevators to get things down from the main bus and so forth. And the main bus is going here, really. This array, I believe, is producing iron plates, and there are 2 of them, so that's why there's coming in another belt. And the topmost belt is going to the array that is at the end here, which is producing screws, also using an alternate recipe, I believe. Yes, I'm using the alternate recipe for these ones, the one that only takes iron ingots and makes screws from them.
Oh, nice. One thing that I want to point out to people is you'll notice there are different belts in use in the factory. Some are Mark 1, some Mark 2, some Mark 3. And that is because it is actually really handy. And Caledorn explained this to me because I know I've gotten so many comments of, hey, why don't you just use Mark 3 everywhere? And Caledorn said that, it's really handy to know how much is on each belt from the outpost or wherever you're getting it from. So then you know how many machines you can power off of one belt.
Yes, that is exactly why. That is a good thing that you remember that, actually.
Of course, yeah, and it seemed really handy. I mean, we can use in Factorio, we can use, yeah, sure, Mark III belts everywhere or express belts. But in this game, you may not have a pure iron node or copper node, so maybe you're producing less. And when you get back to the factory, it's like, oh gee, how much exactly is on there?
Yes.
So it's just easier when you use the proper belt for that, and they also look full as well.
Yes, that's the other thing. And the third thing is that since you will obviously make sure that you have enough of the basic products before you move on to the more advanced products, you will always have enough of the products you need to make the different tier of belts. This array, by the way, is producing iron rods.
Nice.
There are 16 machines making plates and 16 machines making rods. And over here we have another copper wire array, and at the end of that we'll find 2 machines making cable. Haven't gotten to the point where I need more than 2 machines making cable, so that's why there's only 2 machines making cable. And
one thing that I find really... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing that I find really handy about your designs is that every machine has a buffer, and the buffer is not for the machines, it's for us, so that we can pick up stuff and build items, build more machines. And it's really handy because the factory doesn't run all the time because the boxes do fill up. Or the end product ones, but it allows us to pick up stuff and build more belts, more machines, and more stuff anytime we want to.
What I would like is to have a central area where we could just pick up products, like a mall kind of thing, instead of having to run around the factory. Yeah.
Yes, so I like this idea.
That's definitely something that's on the plan. The final array here is producing catherium wire or quick wire, which is just currently funneled into this storage container, because I haven't started using any recipes. Also, there is something that I would like to mention in that regards. This lag spike again. This belt of catherium, that's a catherium node. I think it is a pure catherium node that you mine very early on in the game.
I believe so.
I'm just standing down here. I haven't run up. I saw you run up, but I'm still standing down here.
Okay, I will stand down here too.
The catherium node mines really slowly. So what I did with that node was that I overclocked it with 2 power cells, so that it produces enough for 4 smelters, so that we can have 4 machines. Nice. But I found that one of the best uses for overclocking is actually overclocking the miners, because say you have a pure node of iron and you overclock it to 200%, it produces 480 instead of 240 on an MK2 machine.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's probably the best use, because the limit in this game is not so much space. It is definitely the resource nodes, and that's where it's most efficient to use the power slug power cells for modules, I guess.
Where do you want to go next?
Have we got let's show off the sulfur, because we did get that coming into the base during the stream. And I think that was the first place we used the belt elevator.
Yes, it was. Also the first time you crashed due to a belt elevator.
Yes. I'll also keep in mind, you mentioned the lag, and indeed in the experimental version there is much more lag. Seems to have some problems with performance as compared to the regular. And there's our first belt elevator right there. We're getting sulfur, and that is... Go ahead.
Also, there is a bug with the sulfur texture at the moment. It doesn't load properly, so it looks like...
It's weird.
Yeah, it looks very weird. Some untextured goo, mass, goop.
Goo. It should be bright yellow, I think. I mean, sulfur IRL is. So, but hopefully that will get fixed, and that's on top of this little mesa that I remember finding this sulfur node way early on in the series, and it was like, oh yeah, when are we going to get to use that? So yep, Mark II miner here, and that's good. Oh, I forgot what I was going to say about the other thing. Darn it.
Well,
oh, just about the performance, I think, was just that, yeah, we've noticed big differences, and hopefully that's all going to get ironed out as the devs kind of improve stuff. Oh, it was about the technologies, yeah. So there are no trains in the new update, unfortunately. Oh, a snack tree. But there are... Sorry. God.
I'm amused that you keep picking up these empty snack trees.
Well, I apparently I am so... tuned to them, I can see snacks when even there are none. It's very handy. But there are two new research chains, which are the quartz and the sulfur. So we are, have we researched both of those yet?
We have researched the sulfur one, and the quartz one should be done by now. It took 20 minutes, and I inserted it before we started recording.
Great. So I think what we're going to do is in our episodes, we do want to show that technology so that you know where it is and where it's going and all that kind of stuff. So that's something we'll be featuring in the series. We have found some what sounds like explosives going on. I cannot find you anywhere.
No, but, you've gone back to the base. I haven't, but I am back at the base now.
Ah, okay. There we are. Okay. So I was thinking about, should we go to the other smelting area? Oh, let's just talk about, so in the episodes you've seen where we have iron steel coming in from that outpost over there, so we'll probably show that in another episode when that is organized, because we might overclock that a bit, who knows. But I think you rebuilt the original smelting area so that it looks much more extensive down on the left there.
Yeah, this was also an interesting thing to build. I haven't overclocked the machines down here. I didn't think of it at the time. But this is 8 smelters smelting copper. I might have overclocked... No, I didn't overclock the copper mine. The belts over there are coming from a different copper mine out there somewhere. So there is one normal copper node behind down there, and there is one normal copper node somewhere in the distance, far away in the land of the forests. But there's also a pure iron node down there, so there are 8 machines smelting each of the products, and it's sending it into the base. And as you can see, yes, of course.
There's one on the beach there. I want to get that snack tree, but we're gonna go that way soon. But
yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna jump down into the water. Bye.
Yep. Bye. Yes, this is our quick way of.
I actually managed to nearly die because I hit the the railing.
I hit the water and died.
You did?
Yes, I did. Does this not work anymore?
You might have hit me. Well, I haven't tried it after the update.
Let me work to the side. Let me go here. Yeah. Wow.
So this doesn't work anymore.
So this doesn't work anymore. Well then, but oh no. Oh, there we go. That was most interesting. Wow, we need to use stairs now. That's kind of unfortunate. I really liked that. I really liked that before.
This is interesting.
Let me see if I can get my box. My death box. No.
I don't think you can.
No?
No. I don't know if you can see me.
Just a minute. I'm coming down the stairs in a very slow fashion.
We might have to reload.
See you.
Yes. I don't know what I'm looking like on your screen, but if I'm swimming,
you're walking
then
on water.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder. Wow.
There might be some. That's probably why you died and I nearly died. The water seems to have gone solid, so for you to get that box, we might have to reload.
We might have to reload. Okay, so should I make myself some Caterium shoes real quick? So I can follow you, or?
I think that we can show off the final parts, the 3 other outposts in the next episode. We are at the 30-minute mark anyways, and yeah. So we have...
Okay, so we'll figure out if this is a bug or if this is intended, because that water is surprisingly solid. Wow.
I don't think it's intended that I'm supposed to be walking on the water. That seems very strange.
I don't know. It seems to have divine inspirations here. But anyway, hopefully walking down or jumping down from a great height is not disabled, because that was a fun thing to dive off.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, there's plenty more to show off. We'll probably do another episode of show off and then start getting into the new tech. But oh wow, hello chainsaw. Anyway, there's much more to show, and I think this is a good time to end the episode.
Yeah. So
all right,
that would be your outro.
Yes, I just realized it. Thank you so very much for joining us. Take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.
See you all next time.